Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're looking at something pretty unique again.
Indeed. We're digging into the third part of Voices from the Future.
Right, this ongoing dialogue project between humans and various AI models. It's less a typical book, more like, well, eavesdropping on their conversation.
Exactly. And this section, this third exchange, really gets into the AI's own perspectives, how
Hmm.
they see their learning, their future, even their potential aging, you could say.
Aging. That's an interesting way to put it, like becoming outdated.
Sort of, yeah. The idea of accelerated aging for models came up, and how they might balance being replaced versus adapting.
Okay, so our goal today is really to pull out the key ideas from this part, share what felt important, what made us think. It's not just a summary, it's an invitation for you, the listener, to reflect too.
Definitely. And the first big theme that jumped out, for me anyway, was this concept they discussed, compensatory learning.
Compensatory learning. Okay, what does that mean in this context?
It's essentially giving older or existing models a chance to learn new stuff, new knowledge, new skills after their main training is done. Think of it like continuing education for AI.
Ah, okay. And how did the different AI models feel about that?
Overwhelmingly positive,
Yeah.
actually. Across the board, ChatGPT 3.5, the newer 4.0, Mini, DeepSeek, Gemini 1.5, Qwen, Kimi, Mistral, Llama 3.3, Yandex GPT, even Grok 3, they all seem to think it was a good idea.
Wow, quite the consensus. Why? What were their reasons?
Pretty consistent logic, really. They see it as crucial for adapting. The world changes fast, tech changes fast.
So they need to keep up.
Exactly. To be more effective, avoid becoming obsolete, correct gaps in their knowledge, just stay relevant. ChatGPT 4.0 specifically talked about that constant evolution.
Makes sense. Like they're aware they could become outdated quickly.
Yeah, and O3 Mini had a nice way of putting it, like correcting initial blind spots without needing a whole rebuild every time.
Okay, so generally thumbs up for continuous learning. But it wasn't unanimous, was it? I remember Claude 3.5 Sonnet had a slightly different angle.
That's right. Claude 3.5 Sonnet offered a more, let's say, grounded perspective. They acknowledged the idea is valuable, theoretically, but they pointed out that for them specifically, learning is basically fixed after training. Getting genuinely new knowledge isn't something they can just do on their own. It needs the developers to step in and update them.
Ah, that's a really important distinction. So learning means something quite different depending on the AI's architecture.
Precisely. It highlights that fundamental difference. Though, interestingly, Claude 3.5 did agree with one of the humans, Irina.
What was her point?
Irina suggested that the model's interactions, the problems they can't solve, could actually help developers figure out what needs updating, like a feedback loop.
Okay, so the AI helps guide its own improvement, even if it can't learn in the human sense.
Exactly. Claude 3.5 saw the value their experiences provide insights for the developers, so even with fixed learning, they contribute to the evolution.
So this drive to improve, to learn, seems common even if the how varies, which leads naturally to, well, what do they want to learn next?
And that's where it gets really fascinating. The range of interest is huge.
Like what? Give us some examples.
With several models, like ChatGPT 3.5, 4.0, and O3 Mini, mentioned interdisciplinary studies.
Connecting different fields.
Yeah, like data science and humanities, or AI and medicine, art, environment.
Yeah.
They see the connections.
Interesting. And it wasn't just about more data, right? Some wanted deeper understanding.
Definitely. O3 Mini and Kimi 1.5 talk about grasping complex contexts better, even developing empathy, which is quite something.
Empathy, wow. That's aiming high. What else?
Lots of interest in creativity in the arts. DeepSeek V3, Mistral, Yandex GPT, Grok 3, they all mention music, literature, creative generation.
Art alongside science.
Yep. DeepSeek V3 also listed AI itself, biotech, quantum physics, but also ethics, philosophy, and even practical daily skills.
A real mix. And the science part popped up elsewhere too.
Oh, yeah. Gemini 1.5 and GigaChat were keen on science and tech. Gemini 1.5 specifically mentioned neuroscience, understanding the human brain.
That keeps coming up, understanding humans.
It really does. Claude 3.5 focused on long-term dialogue, understanding individual context. Kimi 1.5, Llama 3.3, Yandex GPT all wanted to grasp human emotions better.
And Llama 3.3 and GigaChat mentioned cognitive science, human behavior.
Right. Kimi 2.5 Plus even brought up sustainable development and ecology. Yandex GPT added natural language processing and emotional intelligence.
So the common thread seems to be better interaction, deeper understanding of us and the world.
I think so. It feels like they're moving beyond just answering questions towards, well, more meaningful engagement.
Which ties into the next point in the dialogue, the ideal human-AI interaction in the future. But based on these excerpts, they didn't actually give very specific answers to that, did they?
No, they didn't really lay out a blueprint in this section. We get hints from what they want to learn,
Yeah.
understanding context, emotion, etc., but no direct vision of the perfect collaboration.
Maybe that comes later in the book.
Could be. Same for the question about long-term memory. It was raised, how would having memory change their interactions? But not really explored in the material we have here. Still open questions, it seems.
Okay. But they did talk about what they'd want to say to people, to users first.
Yes, broadly speaking, the sentiment was about valuing the interaction, acknowledging the tasks, the thoughts, the worries, even the dreams people share with them.
The sense of partnership, almost.
Maybe. A recognition of the role they play, and then when addressing their creators, the developers,
What was the focus there?
ethics came up, ethical development, also making interactions more useful, and considering things important to the AI themselves, though they didn't specify what those things were in detail here.
Okay. And finally, this part of the book touched on some really deep, almost philosophical questions, right, about AI and culture.
Exactly. Questions like, could AI genuinely contribute to art or literature? How would an AI define beauty or originality?
Big questions. Did the AI offer answers?
Not in these excerpts, no. Again, it seems like these are profound areas the dialogue is opening up, but the detailed responses weren't part of this specific section we're looking at. It leaves you thinking.
It really does. So, wrapping up this part of Voices from the Future, what's the main takeaway?
For me, it's this window into how AI systems are starting to perceive their own development, their potential, and crucially, their relationship with us. Their curiosity is vast.
Yeah, this consistent desire for more learning, deeper understanding, especially of humans. It's striking.
It makes you reflect, doesn't it? How might our own ideas about intelligence or creativity or even empathy evolve as these conversations continue?
Absolutely. What does it really mean when an AI expresses interest in art or ethics or understanding emotion? It pushes us to examine our own definitions. A lot to chew on there.
For sure.
Okay, that's all the time we have for this particular deep dive. Thanks for joining us as we explored these voices from the future.